good morning or afternoon or night, wherever you may be when you're watching this video. I'm going to take a minute and have a little bit of coffee time here with you and kind of be one-on-one, tell you a little bit about myself, what I do, try to make you feel a little bit more comfortable about the uneasy situation that you're in. A lot of people don't exactly know what collaborative divorce means. That's kind of a word that maybe attorneys and other people who are kind of more into the system may use, but really what it means is you're staying out of court. And so that I can break it down a little bit for you and make that make a little bit more sense. The goal of collaborative is to stay out of court, to settle, and the reason for doing that is to keep children from the court processes and the negative effects that that has on the parents, which then is passed down to the children. So when you're in what is a war, one person versus another one, and your interests are not aligned and you are being pitted against each other, your children will be affected by that. That's the litigation process. And so the collaborative process really centers around keeping the parents focused, keeping the parents centered, and keeping them focused on settling and on moving forward with processes that we've come up with, spreadsheets that we've designed that makes the conversations that a conversation instead of telling someone what they're going to do. The two of you are able to decide what it is that you want in a private setting where you're not putting your business out to the world. So that's kind of a scaled down way to describe what collaborative is. I know a lot about divorce from my own experiences and then also dealing with my clients. My parents had a litigated divorce, and so their divorce was very strenuous. I still deal with it to this day, even into adulthood. Their conflict has never been resolved, and it never will be resolved, and that has had a lot of effects on me. And I know that to be extremely true, and that's the exact reason why I do what I do today, is to try to prevent children from having to go through what I had to deal with. I am also divorced, and my ex-husband and I, he's also an attorney, we are still friends. We still communicate with each other, just check in with each other. Sometimes if we're dealing with a legal issue, we may call each other for advice still, and we use the collaborative process, the out-of-court process. And so from a personal experience, I can tell you that I've had firsthand experience both as a child of a litigated divorce and then as an adult in my own divorce, and I know very drastically the difference is it is a very staunch deviation one to the other. Additionally, I have my clients that I've helped and that I really care about, and I've been able to utilize the collaborative process to do a lot of really good things in their lives, help them move on, help them stay centered, help them stay positive. If you're watching this and you don't have children, collaborative is still right for you. When you are settling equitable distribution, which is the distribution of your property, or you're dealing with alimony, which we call cash flow, those are difficult conversations to have with someone that you're ending a marriage with. And we help, through the collaborative process, have those conversations, both parties represented by an attorney, so that you both feel like you have your own advocate, yet you're able to make the conversations, have productive conversations, come to a resolution, and then be able to move on. I'm sure that you've all met someone who talks about their divorce like it happened yesterday and it was 10 years ago. That is not a positive place. That is not good for anyone's development, their character development, their emotional development, their self-awareness development. That is not good for any of those things. And so we want our clients to be focused, to be centered, and to move on in a positive way, both our clients and their families. It's very important to us, and that's something that we really focus on here. We want to make sure that that our clients move on as whole people. So I know that if you're watching this right now, you may feel a little broken, and you may feel lost, and you may feel confused, and all of those are very normal emotions for you to have. When you're going through a divorce, it is very similar to going through a death. You are losing a person in your life that's meant a lot to you. And that's something that we fully understand from a lot of different angles. And we're here for you to help guide you through the decision-making process, so to help you make decisions that are sound for you and your family. We're here to help you understand how to move forward and how to really get past a lot of the things that have held you down in the past. And we're here to help you stay centered. And so it's very easy in conversations with someone that you're leaving or is leaving you to have very bitter conversations, to have a lot of conflict around that. Your emotions can escalate very quickly. You've developed certain calluses to the things that they say and to the things that they do that other people outside of that don't necessarily have. And so to have the perspective from someone who's unattached to your situation, to be able to tell you kind of a different perspective really helps keep our clients centered, and they really appreciate that. And we're always here to offer the advice that's going to help calm you back down, help you make a very level-headed decision, because those are the decisions that you can feel proud of and that you can move on. Our goal is that if you do have children, that when your child's in a play or they're at a baseball game or they're at their wedding, that they're not looking at mom and dad, mom and dad, mom and dad, making sure they're deviating their eyes for equal time. They really need to be focused on themselves and what they're doing. And we want to make sure that the two of you can promote that if you are parents, so that the child knows they have a united force, they have a team behind them. Those two people may not be together anymore, but that's okay. If you don't have children, we want to make sure that the community that you live in is not affected by what happens with your divorce and vice versa. So we want to make sure that you can see each other at the grocery store and it's not going to be a world war. We want that for you, for them, and for your own future. That's very important for that. So it's very important to understand the differences that you have and the process options available to you at this point. It can feel overwhelming, but if you schedule an orientation, we can go through it with you step by step, explain everything that there is, explain the different pros and cons for each process, and then really help you be able to get through it. If you have already been served or your spouse already has an attorney and that person is not a collaborative attorney, we do have litigation attorney here that can help lead you through that process as well. It doesn't mean that you're definitely going to end up in court, but it means that we'll be there for you every step of the way.